Have you ever avoided looking into a mirror because you didn't want to face what stared back? Or perhaps you've lingered too long, critiquing every line, every imperfection, every imagined flaw. We live in a world that constantly teaches us to compare, to judge, to measure ourselves against impossible standards. And in doing so, we forget the one reflection that truly matters, our own acceptance. This is the story of Rohan, a young man who had everything the world could admire: success, recognition, friends. But none of it brought him peace. Every morning, he would stand before his mirror, tracing imagined faults with his eyes, replaying every mistake in his mind. He believed that if he could perfect his reflection, he could finally be happy. Yet, the mirror never smiled back. One evening, exhausted by the endless pursuit of perfection, Rohan decided to speak aloud to the mirror. "Who are you?" he asked. The reflection remained silent, yet for the first time, he felt the weight of years of self-judgment pressing upon him. "Why do I fight you every day?" he whispered. And in that silence, a new thought arose. What if I stopped trying to change the reflection and started accepting it? Self-acceptance does not mean complacency. It does not mean giving up on growth or ignoring mistakes. It means acknowledging your humanity, your flaws, and your unique qualities with honesty and compassion. It is the courage to look at yourself without judgment, to recognize that you are enough, even while you continue to evolve. Consider the story of Mira, a young artist. She spent years comparing her paintings to others, believing her work was inferior. She painted in secret, hiding her creations from the world. One day, an elderly mentor asked her to bring her paintings to the sunlight, not for critique, but simply to witness them. Mira hesitated, but complied. As she looked at her work in the light, she realized that each stroke told a story, her story, flaws, imperfections, and all. The paintings reflected her growth, her struggle, and her beauty. Self-acceptance began not in perfection, but in recognition. Most of us carry a distorted mirror within our minds, a reflection shaped by past criticism, social comparisons, and fear. This inner mirror constantly tells us, you are not enough. You must change. You must improve. And yet, every time we internalize this judgment, we distance ourselves from peace, happiness, and authentic living. True self-acceptance requires courage. It requires looking straight at your reflection, acknowledging the parts you fear, and saying, I am here. I am human. I am worthy of love. When you do this, the mirror stops being a source of fear and becomes a source of clarity, guidance, and gentle truth. There is a story of an old sculptor named Arav, who spent decades carving statues of gods. People admired his skill, but he was haunted by the imperfections in his work. One day, a young apprentice asked, "Why are you never satisfied?" The sculptor replied, "Perfection is an illusion. Beauty exists in honesty, in the way each imperfection tells the story of effort, patience, and heart." Self-acceptance is similar. Your flaws, your scars, your struggles, they do not diminish your worth. They are the contours that give your life depth, texture, and authenticity. Rohan, our young man, began practicing self-acceptance gradually. Each morning, instead of critiquing his reflection, he acknowledged it. You are learning. You are growing. You are enough. At first, it felt awkward, almost absurd. But over time, he noticed subtle changes. His posture softened, his smile became natural, and the anxiety that had clung to him for years began to loosen. Acceptance was not a single act, it was a daily practice, a quiet revolution within. Self-acceptance also allows us to accept others more fully. When you no longer judge yourself harshly, you extend the same compassion to those around you. Relationships deepen, connections feel authentic, and empathy grows naturally. A quote from Carl Rogers illuminates this truth. The curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. Acceptance is not the end of growth, it is the beginning. When we stop fighting ourselves, we open space for transformation. We no longer resist life, and life begins to flow more smoothly. Think of self-acceptance as tending to a garden. You cannot force every plant to bloom on your schedule. Some will grow slowly, some will struggle, some may even wilt. But by watering, caring, and observing with patience, the garden thrives in its own time. Your self-acceptance is the sunlight, the soil, and the water. It nurtures every part of you, allowing growth to happen naturally. Tonight, as you lie in bed, practice this reflection. Look at yourself in a mirror, or simply close your eyes and picture your reflection. Acknowledge everything, the strengths, the flaws, the successes, the failures. Speak to yourself kindly. I am human. I am enough. I am worthy of love and peace. If old fears or criticisms arise, observe them without judgment and return to kindness. Even a few minutes of this practice begins to shift the mirror from a source of fear to a source of healing. Begin each day with one affirmation of self-acceptance, no matter how small. I am enough. Notice moments when you judge yourself and consciously replace judgment with understanding. Extend the same acceptance you cultivate for yourself to others, nurturing compassion and connection. Self-acceptance is the foundation of peace. It is the soil from which confidence, joy, and freedom grow. Until you embrace who you truly are, you will remain chained by the distorted reflections of the past, the opinions of others, and the imagined flaws that do not define you. Imagine standing in front of a mirror, not with fear, not with shame, but with quiet curiosity. The reflection smiles gently, not because it is perfect, but because it is real. You smile back, and in that moment, you feel a subtle, profound peace. The knowledge that you are enough, that you are whole, and that your journey is yours alone to walk. Breathe deeply, rest gently. Let your soul absorb this truth. The mirror cannot define you, only you can. Acceptance is your liberation, and love for yourself is your power. Please subscribe for all motivational videos from our channel. Comment your thoughts, and when you awaken tomorrow, carry this truth with you. Live fully, speak gently, act authentically. You are enough as you are, and the world will feel the light of your acceptance.